What's going on YouTube? This is Zorz, and I'm doing a deck profile for Worms for the July 2015 ban list. Now, this is one of my favorite decks of all time, and I try to make a profile for it every format I can, and I really do it just for myself. That's kind of selfish, but it's really in here for, on the YouTube because I want to keep track of my my card choices. I want to just look back on the deck later on during the the lifespan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just to see why I chose certain cards at certain times. And I might look at them again and maybe try them out. Maybe they're gonna work, maybe they won't. I don't know. But I just do it for myself. And I will include the side just for that reason in the deck profile. So I'm not gonna be explaining what the deck does. I'm just gonna explain the card choices. If you want a guide on how to play the deck, I can make one, as long as you guys request it, because I really don't want to explain it to people that don't want to watch it. It's really be pointless. So, if you guys want to watch the a guide, I can make one. So just say in the comments, and I will respond. So let's just get right into the profile. Play the Triple Worms X. This guy's your main dude. You normal summon him. You send a worm. It's pretty good. What makes him better is the Yang Yan, because this is the guy you're going to be sending. So, when Yang Yan is in the graveyard and the only monster you control is Worms X, you get to special summon him from the graveyard and phase down defense position. Now, if you do special summon him like that, when he would leave the field in any way, you have to banish him instead of sending him to the place he would be. Keep that in mind, because a lot of times if your opponent compulses it, it's going to be banished. So keep that in mind. If you don't banish it, you're cheating, unless you overlay with it. But yeah. And his flip effect, well, he has a flip effect, is when his flip face up, you bounce a monster your opponent controls. That's mandatory, so you cannot not bounce something when you flip him up. So yeah, keep that in mind. And for the final worm I play is Worm King, since his guy is your boss monster from the deck. There's summon with your trap. It's self-explanatory. Now, from my other previous profiles, I actually included the 2 Carderos, which is a flip effect monster where if he's flip face up, you get to search for a worm from your deck and add it to your hand. Well, I don't play him because he's just way too slow in the format. With Necros, Burning Abyss, Clifford, you can't really depend on like a set Cardos to start your whole engine. So I just stop that, and I just want to just make this deck as consistent and fast as possible. That's just gonna slow your deck down. I mean, it's really good in terms of not drawing your Zex first turn, but really, if you do draw your Zex, the Cardos is gonna be dead for the whole game, and you don't want that to happen. So we removed them completely, and it really worked flawlessly. I had to put in two releases because it just really worked well. So I only play 6 worms in the monsters, so it was pretty good. There's really no problems with it. For the other monsters, I play triple Traptrix Murmillo and triple Dynamo. A lot of people play things like hands, ninjas, and I really don't like that because, I mean, ninjas is pretty good, but the fact that it's just another couple of normal summons is just not really good. Doesn't really do much for you. The hands are not really good. I mean, it really confuses your opponent because you're gonna be like setting cards, and your opponent's gonna be thinking if it's a hand, if it's a Yang Yan, whatever it is, and your opponent's not gonna know. But the fact that it takes your opponent to interact with the card is why I don't like it. Since it's so slow, I don't really like it. This card just searches out a trap when it's normal summon. It's really good because it gets value right off the bat. Same thing with Dynamo. You just press summon another trap checks, you go into your rank 4s, and you just make plays. And the fact that they get other effects when they're special summoned is why they're also much better than the hands. I played 2 Veiler and 1 Thunder King for our last 3 monsters. Thunder King is just really good. It shuts down a lot of decks, and Veiler, you want to have it for Trish, I don't know, Construct or something like that. I don't know. It's just really, really good right now. So that's it for the monsters. I play 15 monsters. For the spells, I play only 8. I play 2 MST. MST is only really good against Qliphort. This deck really doesn't have a bad matchup against anything but Qliphort, so we do want to still have an MST, but you can prevent towers by with your Yang in, you can bounce back cards, having your Murmillo to be special summoned to pop a card. Those are really reason that I play only 2, because we have Murmillo, so when she's special summoned you get to pop a spell. You don't really need to have the 3rd MST if you have that, so yeah, we only play 2. I play 2 Darkhold because we want to keep up in advantage. If your opponent like spams a whole board and you can Darkhold them, you're gonna plus off so hard, and we just want to basically keep up with our opponent. So yeah, same thing with Dorgeki. It's only in here just for the same reason as Darkhold. For powerful one-offs, I play the 1 Mind Control because every deck right now plays a level 4, so you can normal a level 4. I don't know why I keep doing that, but normal summon a level 4 and overlay into something, and it's just a very powerful card because it takes a monster from your opponent, and your opponent really can't play against that. So it's really, really good. I play the 1 Foolish Burial because sometimes when I open up with Dionea, I have nothing in my grave, so I can Foolish Burial a Murmillo or another Dionea and have it be live. And sometimes my Wormzex gets Veilered, and I could just send a Yang in and still continue the play. So it's really, really good. And for the final spell I play is 1 Book of Moon because it's the best spell in the game. So that's it for the spells. For the traps, play triple Nebula. This is your win condition. It's insane. Triple Fiendish. It's one of the best traps in the game right now. 2 effects in 1. Prevents attacks and prevents effects. It's just insane. This time I'm playing triple Deep Prison. Probably wonder why I'm playing triple Deep Prison. Well, I played 2 Mirror Force before and 2 Deep Prison, and I didn't really like that because Mirror Force is just not a good card in this deck because we already have 2 Dark Hollow Regeki and a Torrential Tribute in our traps, that we don't need more destruction, because a lot of times when your opponent attacks, their monsters are probably going to be protected in some sort of way, and Burning Abyss and Shaddoll will just plus off of the destruction anyways, so you don't really want the extra destruction, so you want to have outs to things like Dante, Construct, Trishula, and things like that. So we have the Deep Prison to apparently get rid of those monsters, and it really, really works. It's just great. For the Trap Holes, I actually only played 2. 1 Trap Hole Nightmare and 1 Bottomless. Now you're probably wondering why am I only playing 2 when I'm playing 3 Murmillo. It's the same thing for Zex. We don't want to draw these cards because you want to search them with Murmillo. So lowering our chances of drawing them is just great. And if you ever need to summon 3 Murmillos, they're probably losing anyways, because there's really no reason for you to summon 3 in 1 game. You should be normal summoning your Zags, your Dioneas, and your Thunder Kings instead of Murmillos. I mean, there is some situations where you just draw into Murmillos, but realistically, you don't really need to summon 3. So we only play the 2 Trap Hole Nightmares. I mean, the 2 Trap Holes. Sorry. I play 1 Call the Haunted. It's really, really good in this deck because you get to summon your Worm King, your Thunder King, your Traptrix cards, which get more effects. It's just really, really good in my opinion. Play the 1 Ring. It's just spot removal, more destruction, more reasons to play Deep Prison over the Mirror Force. Same thing with Torrential, I already mentioned it. More destruction, punish your opponent on their turn instead of just your own. It's really, really good. Play the Vanities to stop your opponent, Compulse, and Silent Warning just to round off the traps. For the extra deck, play the 1 King of the Feral Imps. Now, one of the most important aspects of this card is that it's a generic rank 4, so you can actually make it with your Traptrix, so you can actually search out your worms like that, and it's a really, really good. That's also one of the reasons I like to play the Traptrix engine. Since it has like a Wolfbark type card, you can instantly go into the King of the Feral Imps with just 1 card. It's just really, really good. The 1 Constellar Omega, it has a built-in land, so you can secure those 2400 pokes. It's just really, really good. The one Exciton, one Crab King out to towers, one Cowboy burn for game. It's pretty simple. Just staples, basically. One Rhapsody against Necros, Burning Abyss, Dante's, you know, Satellars, Denebs, and things like that. The Antiluminescent Knight against Clifford, because when they tribute their monsters, you can actually just redirect their targets, so it's pretty good. Played the one Abyss Dweller, Pressure Doll, Burning Abyss, and any deck that uses their graveyard. Played the one Shark, the Heartland Draco. Murdergeist is really, really good against Burning Abyss. You can attack their monster, and it's going to be shuffled back into the deck by using its effect. It's really, really good. One Ragnar Zero, it's any tanky type deck. You can just pop this, and your opponent's going to be scared. Play the one Castel, one Toloneus, and one Diamond just for the Shaddoll and Burning Abyss matchup. So that rounds off the 15 card extra deck. For the side deck, it's really used for my locals, or for my personal preference. So if you don't like the side deck, you don't have to go buy it. So it won't change the main deck. So yeah, I play the two Lancia for the Necros, and what else did I play? Fuck, Necros, and I think Ritual Beast, Infernoids, maybe something else. But yeah, that's the most deck I use this against is Necros. So yeah, play the two Fossil Dyna. It's really good against almost every deck. The hard part of this card is they have to protect it, because a lot of things can just run it over. We do have a lot of protection, and it's really, really good with the trap, with the Worm Trap, the Nebula. You can actually set this card, and you can actually activate the trap in your opponent's turn, which is gonna flip this up, and this is gonna affect. Well, this card's gonna use this effect to blow up all Stress Summon monsters, so you can actually blow at your opponent like that. It's really, really good. Especially if your opponent activates... like, those two cards are kind of like a Vanity's Emptiness in one. So your opponent activates like a mirror, you activate your Nebula trap, you flip this up, boom, there you go, you can't Special Summon in your mouth. There you go. So Fossil Dyna is really good. For the spells, I played the third MST, just against Clifford and any deck that really likes to run Floodgates. Same thing with Twister. Play only two Twister because we don't want to lose life. So we already have Murmillo for the extra poppage, so we don't need the third one. For the traps, I run one Manjane against Mermail and Necros. It's just now Necros even harder than Mistake, because sure they'll search a lot with their Senjus, but they can't search with Bryonic Colossus because it's going to negate their effect. The fact that it stops things like Decisive Armor, Valk, Trishula, Gungnir is just going to stop those discard effects. It's just really, really good. For the Dark decks, I play the two Shadow Prisoners. For Ritual Beast and Infernoids, I play the two Imperial Iron Wall. And for almost every deck out there, I play the three Mind Crush. It's really, really good. I don't run the main because, first of all, there's no space, and the fact that you don't really want to have a card in your hand because you don't want to get Trishula. So yeah, that's it for the profile, guys. It's really just a quick profile, I guess. It's not really quick since it's like 13 minutes, but 14 minutes. But yeah, this is the Dark profile, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Peace.